So this one here, I wrestled in Adelaide as a good guy probably in 09, 08 and 09. And we had a big show in Melbourne. And this guy from Adelaide actually made this and decided to drive all the way from Adelaide to Melbourne to a show that I was going to be at to give it to me because he didn't know when I was going to come back to Adelaide. So that was pretty full on. That was awesome. I was like, who does that? This is just offcuts of the padding that we use for the ring. So if you can imagine it, this is how it sits in the ring like that. There's probably wood about this thick underneath and then steel frames underneath that. So there's not much. And when you're getting slammed about, 6 foot, 7 foot in the air and getting dropped on your head, on your back and your neck, this is all we have to protect ourselves.
It's a brutal world.
Oh, it's fun. It takes a special kind of person to be a wrestler.
Twist the eye of the storm, and was about a quarter of a second away from taking out Carlo Cannon.
Well, when I was about 5 years old, I was kind of picked on a bit because I didn't know anyone. I was one of the only few ethnic kids at the school. It was rough until my uncle came down from the Philippines and showed me wrestling. We hired something for the VCR videotape. I saw Hulk Hogan getting handcuffed to the ropes by the big boss man. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I was 5 at the time, like I was in prep, and just watching all these videotapes of wrestling and loving it. I never thought I was going to be one. I always thought I already was one. As a little kid, I was like, I'm a wrestler.
Trading blows. Carlo misses with the kick. Taken down with the clothesline. Storm again. Cannon off the ropes.
This is Lance Storm. This is the guy I looked up to and wanted to be like. So this is a picture of me getting his autograph when I was 15. And that's a photo of me and him after I graduated. And actually in this frame is the first $20 I ever made wrestling. And I said to myself that if I ever became a pro wrestler and I decided to wrestle, I would keep the first money I ever made. So this is, I didn't have a name. I was number 2 because they didn't know who I was. So it was number 1, number 2. And here's the first $20, the first Canadian $20 I ever made wrestling. It stays in here. It's like my most valuable stuff here. I went from watching wrestling on TV with my uncle, not having any friends, to going through high school, watching a guy on TV. Like, I've got my high school diaries with like Canada drawn in it. Like, I wanted to be this guy, and now he's like my second dad. Like, he's like one of my best friends, and he considers me one of his top students. And you go from loving something to be really good at it, and I think that's what keeps me going. It's that passion. Like, I love it. You can probably smell that. It's my krill oil tablets for the joints. I got testosterone test boosters just to keep my testosterone up clean. And then I've got this, where obviously all my meals and stuff I keep in here. I got my creatine and glutamine. Just some extra more protein. I've got a big bag of protein here. I've got to fill that one up with protein. And that's I bring this sup bag everywhere with me. So if I'm going to the gym, or if I get hungry, or this isn't a joke for me. This isn't like, oh, I'm going to dress up and play wrestler in the weekend and go back to my other life. My life is wrestling. I want to be on tape on the WWE with little kids watching me. But of course, like, it's tough. I'm like 5'9". I'm 5'9", 200 pounds. Generic wrestler, generic superstar, and like the ones larger than life are like 6'4", 300, 240. Right, that's huge. And it sometimes in your head you sit there and you're like, I want this so bad, and I've sacrificed so much. The amount of money that I've spent on study and training and wrestling gear and gym memberships and protein and all this stuff, I probably could have bought like 3 houses. Like I've spent that much money. Like I said, my most recent trip cost me over $6,000. You know what I mean? And now I've got to come back, start again, get some more money, get the feedback, train again, then go. It's just back and forth, and you find a way to survive, whatever it takes. And that's life. You got to do whatever it takes to get there. Well, I guess when I was a kid, that feeling I got when I first saw wrestling, that you're drawn in, like nothing else matters in the world. When you're watching, you're seeing these two guys, these two athletes. They're flamboyant, they're larger than life, they've got these amazing characters, and they're just destroying each other in the ring for millions of people. And the crowd are electric and loud, and the fire, the passion that they're giving you, that's what we live for. That's what it is. It's that rush. You get a fix of it. It's like that adrenaline rush of energy and emotion where you're like, this is it.
He is the sexiest brown man in Australian wrestling. Sweeter than a slice of cake, making women wobble like a bridge in an earthquake. The Filipino mochaccino, Carlo Cash